Oh, it's another monkey movie. Yep, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I've covered the first movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, on my channel. I like the sequel to this a lot. Here's why I think this movie is great. Is that a stretch? Great? Nah, I've liked this movie every time I've seen it. Coming up next, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, 2014, came out a few years after Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which I think is an intelligent blockbuster. It's a King Kong movie. I think a little bit smarter than Kong, although Kong is completely thrilling. There have been a lot of monkey and primate movies, in fact, tons of them in movie history. They seem to play well on screen. And Andy Serkis here reprises his role as Caesar, the intelligent chimpanzee who was injected with a drug that made his IQ go to 150 or something like that. And a bunch of other apes got that too, and they've escaped to Marin County across the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. There's been an epidemic or pandemic. Humanity, 99.8% of humanity is destroyed. Lone survivors in San Francisco, overgrown and not flourishing. These people are in a little hovel. Meanwhile, the apes, the primates, are out there across the bridge. Now, it turns out this is, to me, another intelligent blockbuster about one thing. You only have to think about one thing to me. Who causes war? How do wars start? What kind of buffoonery leads to war? Okay, that to me, that's in the movie, of course, is an ape movie set in the future, so you may dismiss as entertainment, but I think it's actually pretty serious on these super duper important subjects, to me at least. And the movie will show that tensions are high. These two sides, the apes, primates, may have caused the epidemic, pandemic, according to the humans. So the humans, many of them, don't like the primates. Meanwhile, the primates want to stay as far away as they can from the humans because the humans are scared. They've got guns, and they are facetious, liars, frauds, and so on and so forth. But the beginning of the movie, they're going to mix. Okay, so this is going to be a problem. Like, how can you get two tribes together and make them cooperate? Because the humans want to use a dam for hydroelectric power up where the primates are, but the primates want nothing to do with the humans. So will the humans shape up and learn to cooperate, negotiate? Will the apes, let's say, let down their paranoia and let down their guard a little bit and learn to trade with the humans? That's certainly what I would want in this scenario. But immediately the movie hits us over the head with no freaking way, because it's going to quote Stanley Kubrick over and over again, like a million times over and over again. So the first shot is like the first shot of Clockwork Orange, where the camera slowly zooms out on Alex in Clockwork Orange. It does that here with Caesar. I think it tweaks it though, because here we have primates hunting, is it deer or elk in the woods, and it's like the primal forces of nature are involved in the primates actually going after their kill, slaughtering their kill. This is how they live in a naturalistic Jack Londonish environment. And the apes, well, the primates, are considered hoodlums by the humans. So maybe that's another Clockwork Orange reference. But the real one that comes up here is 2001: A Space Odyssey. Because you remember 2001, the first 30 minutes are about apes. Well, again, primates, and a battle over territory for the two primate tribes over the watering hole. So what you got going on here, several shots, several moments where it's humans versus primates, or the threat is that it's going to break into all-out war over water. Remember, again, the dam is the key aspect of this movie, control of water. So Kubrickian question, is this like the nature of animals, creatures, organic life itself? Is everything at war with itself? And can anything resolve into something of a higher order, like negotiation, cooperation, trade, friendship, mutual sharing of goods and resources to some extent? Now, a war does break out. That's not a spoiler at all. You just look at I'm looking at the summary right now on IMDb. It's very clear a war is going to break out. Problem with war, it always is a binary separation. And you go into your tribes, and really based on superficialities, appearance primarily. If you're a monkey, you're over here. If you're a human, over there. Now, in the movie, there's an attempt to cross over. This wonderful character played by Jason Clarke. I love him in everything. I think he's a really great actor in a lot of ways. And then Caesar on the other side. Both of them are trying to get there and trying to negotiate. And of course, Caesar has a long-time association with humans. He still remembers the James Franco character from Rise very fondly, who was his friend, almost a father-like figure too. But war brings out and allows for people who are hostile, angry, paranoid, and fearful, allows those sorts of emotions and those people who focus on those emotions to flourish, which in my opinion is very bad. And here in this movie, it's going to show you that over and over again. The primates who are antagonists, the primates who don't like Caesar's, call for peace, his sort of anti-gun stance, don't use weapons, back off, try to separate. That's one of Caesar's ideals for at least keeping his people separate and safe, protect against violence breaking out. Meanwhile, Clark plays a character who's sort of a scientist. He's got a family, as Caesar does, and they're both kind of protective, and they want, I think, to develop their own people group for sure. But hotheads prevail. Okay, and that's just the nature of this movie, and it's terrifying and horrible to look at. I think there's a lot to learn here, just on a very basic level, about hostilities, either at a local level or maybe all the way up to a nation-state level, where two nation-states or many are at war with each other, sometimes over paranoia, fear, or very stupid things. Now, I love the visualization here of a dilapidated post-apocalyptic San Francisco. To me, that's one of the highlights. It was one of the highlights of the previous Rise movie, we saw the apes sort of go through there and take over like King Kong did for a little while in New York City. In this movie, it's really video game-like to me, where the like a Fallout game, the revelations of a space reimagined. A novum in science fiction terms has happened, some new thing. Here it's an epidemic, pandemic, that's caused the apocalypse. And it's just a wonder to behold and a terror to behold at the same time, to see the Golden Gate overgrown and downtown San Francisco look so dilapidated. And the threat is it will be taken over by pure nature, which, to me, that's one of the... It's funny because there's a lot of green movement there in San Francisco, but it's also terrifying, you think, the extent to which that could go, and this movie sort of brings that up as well. As it turned out, this Planet of the Apes trilogy was about Caesar. Now they've made a fourth movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. We'll see where they go with it, but Caesar as a main character in his journey across time, where he goes from human world to apocalyptic world, and into a war in the next movie called literally War for the Planet of the Apes. Obviously, we're getting the origin story for Planet of the Apes, but I think more importantly, 2014, many problems in the world as far as wars, especially in the aftermath, to me, and as Gen X guy, of the war on terror, the consideration of that and the outbreak of it. Now here in 2024, the Ukraine, Russia war, and a number of other conflicts, terrible conflicts like that around the world. How could they be resolved? Like the Middle East, how could they be resolved? Are hotheads going to prevail? Are peace lovers going to prevail? People who want negotiation and trade. And the world is always on a precarious balance of that. It's always super fragile. Even in a state like this, it's post-apocalyptic. Even in a state where we're highly developed and economically growing and expanding, you still have that fragility of the potential of these terrible people or angry people or tribalist people doing things to other people that just spark conflict or war. So to me, this is a pretty good to very good movie. I think it's watchable. Will it hold up over time? Don't know, but I wonder what you think about it. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Let us know in the comments, and please subscribe to this channel for more great content. Thanks, and have a great day.